All right, let's get right into it, because the way we get information online is going through a massive, massive change. For years, it's all been about search engines, right? SEO. But now there's a totally new kind of visitor showing up to websites, AI agents. And you know what? They don't see the web the way we do. Today, we're going to break down a really fundamental upgrade to how the internet works, one that's built specifically for them, and it might just change absolutely everything.
This quote from Cloudflare it hits the nail on the head. I mean, think about it like this. When an AI agent goes to a web page, it doesn't care about the cool design or the pop-up ads. It's there for the information, for the actual letter. But to get to that letter, it has to chew through all this digital packaging, all the messy code that makes the page look pretty for our human eyes. And in the world of AI, that packaging has a very, very real cost.
In that cost, you can think of it as the web's token tax. Every single piece of code, every tag, every script that an AI has to process costs it compute power and, yep, money. These costs are measured in something called tokens. The language of the web, HTML, is just super inefficient for machines. It's this hidden tax that every AI developer has pretty much been forced to pay. Well, until now.
Okay, look at this. This shows you the difference plain as day. On the left, you've got your standard HTML for a simple headline. All that extra code for styling and structure, that could cost an AI, say, 12 to 15 tokens, just to understand about us. Now look at the right. That's the markdown version. It's clean, it's simple, it's direct, and it only costs 3 tokens. That is a huge improvement on just a single line. Now just imagine scaling that difference across a whole website with all its menus and ads and complicated layouts. And this is where it gets really nuts. We're talking about the sheer scale of that difference. The article that this whole explainer is based on, it cost an AI over 16,000 tokens to read in its original HTML format. But when you convert that to Markdown, the number just plummets to a little over 3,000. That is a staggering 80% reduction, an 80% cut in that token tax. This isn't just some small optimization, folks. This is a total game changer.
So the problem is pretty clear, right? HTML is built for humans, but AIs, they need something way more direct. And Markdown has really become that language. It's kind of the lingua franca for AI systems. The big challenge, though, was that the web wasn't built using Markdown. So how do you bridge that gap? Well, this is where Cloudflare comes in with a really elegant solution.
They call it Markdown for Agents. And yeah, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It basically acts as a universal translator that sits right at the edge of the internet. When an AI agent asks for a web page, Cloudflare can jump in, and instead of sending back all that messy HTML, it sends a beautifully clean, structured Markdown version instead, and it does it all in real time. So here's the crucial point. This isn't just about making web pages smaller. It's about fundamentally changing the whole relationship between AI and the web. What this does is it effectively turns every website that uses it into a structured API. That's an application programming interface. It means an AI no longer has to scrape a page that was designed for human eyeballs. It can now directly query the information, almost like it's talking to a database. Now you're probably thinking, this sounds incredibly complicated to set up, right? But this is where the design is just, honestly, it's brilliant. For all you developers and builders out there, the process of tapping into this new, structured web is just shockingly simple. The whole workflow is just 4 easy steps. An AI agent sends a request like it always does, but with one tiny little addition. Cloudflare sees that addition, it handles all the heavy lifting of converting the page on the fly, and then it sends the clean Markdown right back. The original website? It doesn't have to do a single thing differently. It's all handled for you at the network level. And this right here, this is the aha moment. This is the entire one-line upgrade. All an AI developer has to do is add a single header to their request. Accept text/markdown. That's it. That one little line tells Cloudflare, hey, I'm an AI agent over here. Give me the clean version, please. It's just a simple, super elegant use of the web standards we already have. And the response you get back is even better, because it comes with some incredibly useful information. This x-markdown-tokens header, for example, gives the developer an instant estimate of how big the content is. That's absolutely crucial for managing an AI's limited memory, its context window. And that content signal header, well, that brings us to another really critical piece of this whole puzzle. So, okay, what does this actually mean for the people who are out there building AI applications? How does this change their day-to-day work? This is where all that theory hits the road and completely transforms some of the most common AI workflows. Let's just look at this table. It lays out the before and after perfectly. For something called a RAG pipeline, that's when an AI pulls in fresh information from websites to answer your questions. Developers don't have to scrape and clean messy HTML anymore. They just ask for the clean data. Or for an AI browsing agent, instead of trying to figure out the visual code of a site, it gets simple structured text it can understand instantly. And what about monitoring content for changes? The whole process becomes cheaper, faster, and way more reliable, since it's not going to break every time a web designer decides to move a button. It is a massive upgrade across the board.
But this isn't just a one-way street that only benefits AI developers. This also gives a ton of power back to the people who actually create the content in the first place. It gives them a real say in how their work is used by all these new AI systems.
It's all done through that content signal header we saw a minute ago. It's a framework that lets a website owner clearly state their rules. They can signal things like, hey, can my content be used for training AI models? Or can it be included in search results? Or for other agentic uses, like letting an AI summarize the page. This creates a really clear machine-readable way to handle communication and consent, which, let's be honest, has been a huge gray area in the AI space for a while now.
And for any of you website owners on Cloudflare who are listening to this, turning this on for your own site is unbelievably easy. For the plans that are eligible, it is literally a toggle switch in your dashboard. You can just flip it on and immediately start serving a cleaner, more efficient web to AI agents, all while signaling your own rules for how your content gets used.
So, what we're looking at here is the very beginning of a brand new chapter for the internet. It's one where machines are first-class citizens, not just, guests trying to figure out a world that was built for humans. By creating this common language, we've opened up a direct line of communication between our content and artificial intelligence. And that leaves us with one massive, fascinating question to think about. If the web can now speak directly to AI, what in the world are they going to talk about next?